Hi there, welcome to Picture and Design, and please do it to subscribe. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you very much for always stopping by, and click notification so that you always be notified anytime I drop posts like these. And also don't forget to give it a thumbs up and drop some comment on what's in the comment section. On our last video we were talking about beginner's guide to email design and showing you some videos you need to watch and some stuff. And yeah, I've gotten some feedback and it's encouraging, so I decided to shoot this other one. I'm sorry that it's taking a bit longer for me to drop these videos because of my schedule and stuff, so I'm just trying to see how I can squeeze in and make sure that I show up. Yeah, so let's get into it. And this is it. So now we are going to take on this. This is going to be more of theory before the practical part of things. So the beginner guide to email design. Why does email design matters? I know whenever I tell somebody or anybody that I am an email designer, they'll be like, what is email design? And I always find it difficult to actually explain myself and tell them what I do. So, in a nutshell, maybe elderly person, aunties, uncles, like no matter how you want to explain, they will not grab. So just tell them I do design. So they'll be like, okay, design, that's cool. But what is email design and why does it matter? Email design isn't just about looking good, it's about driving results. You understand that fact? So design isn't just about the aesthetics. Like, oh wow, this looks so good. Wow, I love the color combination, I love the typography, I love layout structure and everything. It's about the result, because at the end of the day, you design this email and then they send it over and it doesn't generate revenue. So automatically the design failed because it refused to do its principal duty. So as an email designer, when you are designing, you need to design with conversion in mind, not just the aesthetics. But the aesthetics matter, but it shouldn't be over the place. Because great designs boost open and click rates, reinforce brand trust, support user experience across devices. What does this mean? Like boosting open rates, like I said earlier, you design. Okay, let me just give a context. I'm going to be referencing a lot about Klaviyo. We get into that because that is where I have more experience in. So boosts open and click through rates. Like for instance, now you design an email and then they sent it to their subscribers. What happened is clicking through that email is very vital. So if nobody clicks the email to the website, that means that the email refused to do what it should do. And it might not just be because of the design, a lot of factors involved. It can be wrong targeting, it can be the copy wasn't good enough, and it can also be that the design wasn't that great. Okay, and then it reinforces brand trust. This means that once you are designing, you need to design with the brand in mind. So probably you go to the website and the website looks good, and you see the color palette that they are using on their website, the typeface that they are using, and every other thing. And then those elements shouldn't miss in your email. Your email shouldn't be totally different from the website, that when they click through the email to the website, they are getting a different experience. Your email should actually emulate the website, like not just copy it verbatim, but at least pick some stuff, the colors, the type, the layout structure. If there are elements there, the element that they use on the website, those repetition actually create a more of a cohesion and making sure that it reinforces brand trust and also supports user experience across devices. Like for instance, now I'm recording this video on my PC, and probably you might be watching this video on your mobile device or that person might be watching it on their desktop. So designing an email that um, supports user experience across devices, that even though I open the email on my PC, my mobile, or my tablet, or my desktop, it's not going to create any glitch in terms of maybe the mobile is way too tiny, or it's so big and stuff like that. So you need to like one terminology we use more is mobile friendly designs. You get. So we have different types of email design. We have here the campaign. We have here the campaigns. Okay. We have here the campaign. And we also have automated flows. Then we have here transactional. So I'm going to dive deep into that. Just trying to reduce so I can bold. Okay. Okay. Campaigns are one-off emails for promos or announcement. Like examples might be a product launch, flash sale, educational emails like educating them about your product, about your services, and then automated flows are triggered sequence like the welcome series, the abandon cart, the browse abandonment, the post purchase, the checkout abandonment, the win back flow, those the sunset flows, and so on and so forth. So a little bit explanation on each of them. Okay, the transactional email is more of informational emails like order confirmation, password reset. This one don't really play a larger role in the e-commerce space. It's mostly with software as a service brands that use transactional email a lot, because forget your password, you click on forget password, they will send you an email, and you order something, they send you order confirmation and stuff. So campaigns are just like everyday email that you see, that the brand send containing a particular subject matter, and then it doesn't just it must not just be the product launch or flash sales. It can be educational content, you get, just to educate the audience on why they should use your product, why your product is better than your competitors. It can be reviews, it can just stuff like that, like social proof and so on and so forth. Well, automatic flows, these ones are emails that are designed, and then they on Klaviyo we have flows. Flows are just automated, like they would upload the emails on each flows, and then they link it to maybe it has a lot of conditional splits and stuff. That is more of going to Klaviyo tech. You get which divert us from the main context of this video. So that flows are just automated, like you set it once and it runs over time, unless maybe if we can do flow refresh, like if we have used that creative for like 6 months and stuff, we can design another creative to replace the old ones. And sorry, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do well to subscribe, hit the bell notification, and give this video a thumbs up. So now number 2, we have the basic structure of an email. We have the subject line, the preview text, the header, which is logo. I'm going to move this navigation because it's not needed in email, and the hero image plus headline, the body context, the supporting copies, images, CTA, and footer. I'm going to give more illustration as we are moving forward. So for now, it's more of theory, no examples you get. But if you want to dig deeper, you can do more research on it. So now, for as an email designer, this two part is not really a concern because you don't really use this. This is mostly for Klaviyo Tech strategists because and the copywriter. So the main focus is the header, which is the logo, and then the hero image, which is the headline, and also the body content, which is the copy. So in the body you can have different sections whereby you put in images, you put in, let me say, call to action also in the body, and also maybe product categories and stuff like that. Then you also have the CTA. It's very important. You must have the CTA above the fold, which is when you have at the first part of the email, there must be a CTA, and depending on how the email is long, at least you have to have a minimum of 2 CTA in an email. And then the footer contains the social links. The unsubscribe is very important, so those needs to be there. Sometimes you can use branded footer whereby you also put the brand logo in the footer and also put product categories in the footer. It also helps to boost conversion. So we have email based practice. So you have a one clear goal per email. Like, you shouldn't bombard your email with a lot of information. It should be a one and straightforward goal. If this email is for sales, it sells. If this email is for education, it's for education. If it's for social proof, it's for social proof. And always keep your email skimmable. Keep it skimmable. Don't allow your subscriber to actually be wondering what in the world is this, like bombarding everything into one place and then making it look so unreadable. So mobile first, design with mobile in mind, because 70% of people open those emails on their phone. So you need to make sure of this font size that you are using, and then all the elements needs to look good on mobile. And always put a clear and bold CTA. Like I said earlier, you need to have at least 2 CTA depending on how the email is long. If it is very long, you need to have more than 2. And using a website font is okay, but a lot of brands now have their own different fonts or typeface. So you work with what the brand have. So if their typeface is different from what we have here, you go ahead and use what they have on their website. You get, it helps to build that cohesion, to build that easiness when interacting with the email and with the website. Then you test for dark mode. This one is more technical and more advanced, so we'll skip this one here, and we get into that once we start designing, so that you understand what it means by testing for dark mode. So now, design tip for the beginners. The weight of every design is always 600 max. I don't use more than that. Like, we have, I've used 600, I've used 800, I've used 1200. Yeah, I think sure I've used 1000 pixel. So, but the minimum is 600. Shouldn't be lower than 600, but the standard is 600. And then padding have to be 20 to pixel. This one is coming up when we are doing the main design, so that you understand padding, you understand the margin around the content. Then hierarchy, like I said earlier, is the headline, the visual, and the CTA, making sure that everything is in line and is aesthetically pleasing to the eyes. Then your color palette, you shouldn't use more than 3 brand colors. If they have a lot of brand colors in their website, you shouldn't use more than 3. You don't want to design a rainbow for anybody. Too much of color is not pleasing to the eyes and it makes your email look so amateurish. Then file type, yeah, they can send files either PNG, JPEG, or SVG. Some icons do come in PNG format and JPEG, so that one is not really a big deal. So tools to use in designing email, you can use Figma, you can use Canva, you can use Adobe Photoshop. But what I use and what a lot of my students use is Figma. So we use Figma for the design. So anything we are going to say is going to be revolving around Figma. And then platform that I mentioned earlier about Klaviyo, we have different email service provider: Klaviyo, MailChimp, ConvertKit, and so on, SendLane, etc. But the most important one and the one that you are going to hear often is going to be Klaviyo, because it is much more personalized to the e-commerce niche. So you can test your email. This one is for people that are designing email, like people that are using HTML email, because we have email that they code, we have email that they design. So for me, I'm more of a designer, so I don't really use this. I don't use it at all. And then you can get stock images on Unsplash, Pixel, StorySet for illustration. There's also other websites that you can get stock images. But I use let me confirm. I use FreePic. I think I should include. I use FreePic a lot for all my stock images. And then for flat icon, this one is for icons. And also, common mistake to avoid: don't use too many CTAs. Text embedded in image is hard to read. Don't put a text inside an image unless the contrast is okay and it's very easy to read. I always avoid putting text in image because it's always tricky. Is that you dim the image and then to make the text come out well. Then don't ignore mobile view. It's very important. Design with mobile in mind. And this don't missing alt text is when you are actually uploading the email to Klaviyo. That one is a different class on its own. And don't use weak color contrast, but it depends, because some brands don't really have good colors. So you might need a lot of creativity there, and it's a bit tricky for you to go around getting the colors. But if you're working with brands that have a great color, then you should utilize it better. So accessibility guidelines: you use 16 pix font minimum, but 16 pix fonts is a bit small, so I can say this is the minimum should be 22, depending, because it depends on the audience. If you are working with a client that has an older audience, then you need to use something between 24, 26, so it can be easily readable. They don't have great eyesight, and consider that as well. Ensure strong contrast: black should be on white and white should be on black, and vice versa. Then this alt text on every image, this comes when you're uploading it to Klaviyo. And logical reading order for screen readers: they are like the new technology now, the new iPhones and stuff have screen readers for people that have any form of disability. So you make sure that the text are spelled well and the email are structured better. So in case the person opening the email is using a screen reader, everything can just be in a very straightforward manner, not skipping and making the whole experience messed up. So we have CTA tips that convert, action goals. This one is mostly for copywriters. Shop now, get started, no credit card required, urgency, aim tonight, unlimited spot. This one, yeah, basically is the work of a copywriter to make sure that they give me CTA that converts. And then, okay, we are getting to the final part of the video. So mobile optimizations checklist. These are stuff that you need to be sure that you have at the back of your mind when designing an email. So use one column layout. Your layout shouldn't be like too complicated, and we are going to dive deep on that when we handle layout structure. And then yeah, you use a large button so it can be easily clickable in terms of maintaining good user experience. And then your headline should be punchy, it should be straightforward, it should be readable. So that is your case with your copywriter, making sure that they give you stuff that you can use. So I always go back and forth with my copywriters because definitely we need to be in the same page to move forward. Then yeah, friendly spacing is important. Spacing is what makes and break an email. So you need to make sure that your email is being spaced out properly. The text, the wordings, and everything being spaced out appropriately. And scalable image. This has to do with more in terms of HTML. Like when you are coding the email, you make sure that it is scalable. But I don't really have much information in that regards because what we do is design, and it's always slicing as image. So doesn't need to be scalable, but it needs to be responsive in terms of if you view it in mobile and view it in desktop, the experience is still going to be intact. Then final question and answer checklist before sending. So once you finish designing the email, there are things you need to ask yourself. The subject line and preview text optimized, the work of a copywriter, unless you're the one that is writing the copy. The buttons, are they linked properly? Have you tested the email to see if it is responsive in both layout and desktop? This is when you are actually sending those emails in Klaviyo, and then you are testing to make sure that everything works properly. So for now, you might not really need all this information, but I'm just running through so that you have an idea of how the whole system works. And then dark mode reviewed, we'll talk about that later. Proofread for typo. This is very important. Please, anytime you design an email, you can always proofread it to make sure that there's no mistake. It might be a mistake from the copywriter that you need to notice. Okay, so you will not send an email that says a different thing, and then the main context of the email was to say a different thing. It hurts the brand credibility, and definitely some clients will fire you. So always make sure that unsubscribe link is present and spam test passed. This is the work of a strategist to make sure that all those stuff are in place. So we have come to the end of our video. It's about 25 minutes long, and I'm grateful that you stayed through. I'm glad that you have watched this video to this point. So please do well to subscribe, do well to hit the bell notification, and also do well to give me a thumbs up so that YouTube algorithm is going to pick this video and share it with other people that want it. And also make sure you drop a comment if you have any concern or any question. I'm always active to make sure that I respond to comments whenever. So until I see you next time, my name still remain Big John Design, and I'm an email designer. I've designed email for 7 figures to 8 figure brands. I've worked with agencies so I can handle your design stack and stuff. And I also handle static art design as well. So do well to hit me up and then we can, get forward from there. So see you next time. Cheers.